Hello friends, I hope you're having a great day. I am so excited about today's cards. I know that earlier, not that long ago, probably only a few days ago, can't remember what day of the week, last Friday, I made owl cards, but we're doing owl cards again, because last week when I made the owl cards, I know they were very cute. If you don't remember what they look like, I will quickly show them to you because they're very fun. But they were what I refer to as very cutesy, and this is what those ones look like. Aren't those cute? So these ones are going to be more elegant because I really feel like the barn owl has kind of more of an elegant kind of look to it. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. So the first thing I'm going to do is with the circle piece here is we're going to cut a teardrop shape. Okay, it was not very difficult. Basically what you're going to do is you're just going to cut it from the bottom and you're just going to cut up towards the top, kind of hit that rounded edge at the top of your circle there so that it looks, so the rounded part there kind of wraps around like that. And then you want the other side to be very similar. If you're concerned about it being the exact same, you can always line up a piece of paper that you just cut out on the other side and take a pencil and trace it, and then you can cut that out. Because I want mine to be exactly the same, I am actually going to do that. Again, if you feel confident in just cutting out a teardrop shape, great. And normally I do, but because I know me, and when I get on the spot, I'm like, oh, it's perfect and easy. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, wow, I totally messed up. I did not mess up this time. I'm happy with what this turned out. Okay, so you're going to end up with something like that, a little teardrop looking shape. And then you have like some little leftover pieces that you can use in a variety of different ways for other things. All right, so now, I'm going to tuck my things to the side over here. Okay, so now what we're going to do here is we're going to glue on the little heart. So now this is going to be the little face for the barn owl, right? Doesn't it already look barn owl-esque? I mean, just that little thing alone. Except for the bottom of the heart, what we're going to do is we're actually going to round it off. So you're just going to round it. If it's not perfect, it's okay. So he's going to kind of be looking like this. All right, so now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab a black pen. Sorry, I just realized I need something on the dust. You're going to want to grab a black pen. And we're going to go ahead and put a little line. Okay, when you're looking at the little teardrop and you have this little face, I did not glue the face on yet. We're just going to draw a little line like this. Right there to the side. This is his little wing, okay? Because when he's kind of looking off to the side, kind of like that. All right, so that's kind of my kind of thought there. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but you're going to draw a line just like that, okay? I did not use a super thick pen. I did that on purpose, all right? So now what I'm going to do here, I want to create some texture in the wing. If you like it just as is, that's great. If you want to practice this technique on maybe a scrap piece of paper while I'm talking about it, that might be a good idea so that you don't mess up by accident, okay? Because I know sometimes that happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create just some tiny little slices, very small, just like one, and I'm kind of doing a little bit of an angle. So I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to cut from starting at the bottom here, kind of curve up to that little slice I just did. Okay, do you see what I did there? So on the side here, I'm just going to kind of cut my paper up to that little point. All right, and right here on the side, again, kind of cutting with my edge of my paper up to the edge of that point. All right, so we get kind of a ruffled edge. Okay, hopefully you guys can see what I just did there. I'm going to do it again on the other side. Flip it over. Again, what I'm doing is I'm just doing some quick little slices into the side there. I'm going to do maybe 3. And then I'm going to cut with my scissors at kind of an angle. Whoops. That's kind of a bigger angle than my other side, but that's okay. All right, so we're doing something like that. Okay, so that's what we ended up with. So this on this side, the front, we have our little angle. Now, if you messed up with your little line, you can draw on the other side, or you can draw with a pencil and then draw with a darker pen. Just in one quick line. It doesn't have to be perfect. Even if it's small, it's okay. All right, so now you have a couple little dots. And what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and just glue those onto your little heart. And then we're going to be drawing a little triangle. Okay, and the tiny little triangle is going to be its nose. Okay. And you draw a triangle straight down like that. So not very difficult. 2 little dots and a nose. Now I've included an extra heart in here in case you mess up, and so you can try that again. You can use just a black pen to draw its little eyes and draw a little triangle nose. If you feel confident with cutting out a teardrop shape out of another piece of paper, you could even make a secondary owl from another piece of paper if you didn't use up your first heart. So that's just another idea for you. Okay, now I like the idea of adding a little bit of texture that kind of looks good with the little triangle side. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my same pen and I'm just going to draw a triangle on the inside of that little ruffle. Okay, see what I did there? How I just drew a triangle right inside there and right inside there, right inside there. Okay, I'm going to do it again. And I know that seems weird, and if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. But I will tell you that if you don't, it does not look as good. But you can play around with it and decide what you like. I'm going to draw just glue the little heart inside. Oh my gosh, his little face. Oh, so cute. So cute. Look how adorable that little owl is. Oh my gosh. But he's more elegant cute. He's not like cutesy cute. Oh my gosh, it just makes me so happy. Okay, so now for the front of the card. This part goes quick. This is the owl that takes a little bit of time. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and glue our pieces on. This is going to be the board for the back side of our, it's kind of like the idea if it's like an old building or barn because it's a barn owl. Haha. All right, so we're going to go ahead and glue those on. Now keep in mind that you're probably only going to get like a 32nd of an inch between each little plank there. So there's really not very much space. So you may want to start out by starting on the left. Now you're going to have about 1/8 of an inch on the top and bottom of your brown card base there. So you may want to start out by gluing on the left and then gluing on the right. So you can kind of decide what's going to make sense for you and your card. Okay, but that's usually what I do. Again, only giving myself a tiny little border on the left and right there. But then as I glue my next piece on and my last piece, especially if you work very quickly, your glue won't dry too fast, then you can line those up and get them nice and even. Okay, so that's my trick for you for getting nice even little boards. All right, so now we're going to do a little post here. What I usually do is just draw a little circle at the top, just like that. And then at the bottom, I just kind of draw like another little rounded edge like that, because that's going to make it kind of the rounded part of your little post. Actually, now that I do that, you should probably decide how tall you want your post to be, and I know that mine's not going to be nearly that tall. So I decide it's probably going to be about, I'm going to lay my little owl on there and kind of decide where he's going to sit. All right, I've decided. So I'm going to round that off. And then at the top here, I'm going to go ahead and just trim this so that it kind of matches up with the round top of the pole there. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw a secondary line like this right underneath that first circle. And now I'm just going to draw some lines. And it does not even have to be perfect. In fact, if they overlap, great. If they are not perfect, that's actually even better. But we're going to want to go up and down only. It's not the goal to go back like all around or scribble. It's just kind of up and down, straight lines. If you overlap them a bunch, it kind of looks a little bit like wood grain. Just a little bit. And if you're not still like, I don't know about that, you can add in a couple little dots, like 1, 2 dot, and then maybe a couple other 2 or 3 dots. I refer to these as dot groupings, and it kind of makes it look kind of old. So there's 2 dots there, big dot, 2 little dots, and 3 little medium dots there. And then you can add like an occasional single dot kind of here and there. And that kind of gives the idea of kind of an old looking palette. Now what we're going to do for the top here is we're literally just going to draw a swirl in the shape of an oval. And see how not perfect mine is? I'm kind of doing it several times. I'm okay with that because it kind of looks like old wood grain because the paper, the lines are just kind of overlapping. If your pen's really thick, you're going to obviously want to do fewer lines so it doesn't just look like you colored it in. So now our little pole, going to stick down. Now I'm noticing that because my edges are not super dark against the background of my paper here, that I'm going to go ahead and just color a little bit darker on the edges of my pole here with my pen. See, again, I kind of scribbled, but kind of scribbled kind of straight. Okay, kind of giving it the idea of kind of a shadow. If you don't want to do this, you can always just take a black pen and kind of do one of these kinds of things. And this is a really great way to kind of make wood grain, those kinds of things like that. And you can kind of do that kind of multiple times. You have like a little loop and you have lines that kind of go wrap around each other. And this is another really great way to kind of make something that kind of looks like wood grain. See how they kind of match up kind of next to each other a little bit? And then at the top you can just do a little quick line that kind of is oval shape, and did 2 more lines on the side there and a line at the bottom. So you have some different options, and then you can use thicker pens on the left and right side if you need to make thicker lines. Okay, so let me see if I have another black pen here. Oh, I don't. That's okay. So thicker pens will make thicker, darker lines, more shadows. So you can kind of decide how you want to do that. All right, so it's kind of up to you. Okay, so I'm happy with the first side that I did, so I'm going to go ahead and lay that down. But before I totally glue it in place, I'm going to kind of just glue the very bottom of that down real fast. And now I have a little bit of twine here. So I'm going to cut off, probably about 6 inches. And I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this around, let's say, wrap it around a couple times and just tie a quick little knot. All right, and we'll go ahead and glue that down. Okay, and you can stick your owl on. Oh my gosh, I love this owl. I love him. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting glue on there, and then you can kind of stick your owl kind of off to the side a little bit, like he's gonna be like perched on there. You're gonna tuck a little feather kind of under, whoa! You're gonna tuck like a little feather kind of underneath that little pole a little bit. Kind of want him like perched on there. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that, because I didn't want to draw feet because I feel like that's going to be very time consuming. And also, I'm not sure I'm going to be very good at drawing feet. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to draw these straight lines like this. Okay. And if they're not perfect, that is okay. All right, so I do straight lines there, 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 there. And now I'm going to draw these little nail holes. Now we're imagining that the carpenter used 3 holes each side per board. I did another line just tucked right underneath the side of that little pole there. So for my nail holes, I'm just using my pen, just kind of go in, right? So we're doing 1, 2, 3. Again, it's kind of like the hammer kind of nail holes from whoever built this side of the barn. And I'm just doing the other 3 holes right beneath it. Okay, so you end up something like that. Whoops, I'm not sure why it got fuzzy on me. Hopefully that will repair itself here in just a moment. Maybe not, I might have to pause it. Oh no, there we go. All right, so now we have ended up with our little guy there. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap our twine. It's just the rest of it should go around just a couple times. And then we're just going to go ahead and tie a little bow. Or if you don't have enough, if you cut off too much for the other one, then you're going to tie a little knot. Now I'm just going to go ahead and trim my little pieces. Trim my little bow around. Pulling those down. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Oh, I love that. And then on the inside, we're going to do a little sentiment that says thinking of you. Just a little bit of glue on all 4 sides there. And when you tuck it in, you should get a nice little nice little border on all 4 sides, little border of the brown. All right, so there we have it. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Oh, I love how that turned out. I love the little owl's face. Oh my gosh. How fun. I'm going to think of you inside. All right. Card number 1, friends.